Okay, let's take a look at outline. Outline is the border that goes around everything. It's honestly the border around a border. You can add an outline and you can tell it to have an offset. We use the outline offset to give some space between the element and your outline. We'll demonstrate that in just a second. But basically, outline is like having two borders, and it's really nice for visual improvement. Now, most of the time, outlines are actually super important for accessibility. So whenever you hover over an element, or when you tab over, like when you use a keyboard and you hit tab over and over on your page, sometimes a button will have like a yellow outline around it, or a red outline, or a black outline. And it's not the border, it's just this outline. And it tells screen readers and people with visually impaired handicaps, people who can't see very well, what is actually selected. It also, for those keyboard warriors out there who like to use a keyboard instead of a mouse, it helps them a lot. And there's a lot of them out there. So it's really, really important. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save this as a new file called outline. And what I want here is I still have this box. And what I would like to do is add an outline around it. So if I go here, and this is just leaving off from the last lesson, I'm using the exact same file. It's okay because I'm just in the editor here in the inspect tool and our developer tools. I can add an outline, and let's make this just a wee bit smaller. I can add an outline, and it's a lot like a border. So I can say 5 pixels, solid, black. And you can see that it's actually on the outside of all of it. Now, if we look down at our box model, it doesn't even show up in here. We have an inside, we have a padding, we have a border, we have margin on the outside, but it doesn't actually really show us anything about the outline. And so that's the difference between a border and an outline. A border is actually calculated, an outline is not. And you can see this, it doesn't actually make our box move at all. It just literally adds an outline around it. Now, there's a way to add an offset. We can say outline-offset, and we can give this a pixel value as well. So let's say, not 4, let's give this a 10 pixel offset. And we're going to want to add some margin in here. So let's do margin 30 pixels. And what this offset does is it just moves that outline outwards. Now, what I would like you to do for this particular lesson is create an element and give it a border, then give it an outline. It doesn't really matter what your color is. You can just give it some sort of outline. I just did something boring, 5 pixels solid black, and then add an offset to it to demonstrate that this can be moved outwards.